Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschacharya Shatarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschacharya Shatarine Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodhanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachara Yamunatira Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschacharya Shatarine. Bon, on m'a présenté un verset très fameux du premier chant dans lequel vous êtes à présent. Et je viens de lire là-haut sur un panneau que le Srimad Bhagavatam, c'est l'essence de toutes les Écritures. Alors, il faut régulièrement prendre de l'essence pour continuer à pouvoir voyager. Ça veut dire que c'est un moment, c'est un élément assez important d'étudier les Écritures tous les jours. Et de cette manière, nous prenons une sorte d'essence pour pouvoir vivre. Bon. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
C'est le verset 4 du chapitre Divinité et Divine, Divine Service et Service divin. Narayanam Namaskritya. Narayanam Namaskritya. Narang Chaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Narayanam Namaskritya. Narang Chaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Narayanam. The personality of God. Huh?
We get a turn to say the verse. We all get, everyone gets to say the verse.
Reading the verse.
Ah, I'm sorry.
That's not used to
I'm completely out of habit, you know.
Okay.
J'ai pris l'habitude.
Who wants to go first?
Bon, à vous?
Quelqu'un envie? Ben moi j'ai envie.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaivat Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayam Mudirayet.
Tato Jayam Mudirayet.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayam Mudirayet.
Tato Jayam Mudirayet.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswati Vyasam.
Devim Saraswati Vyasam. Tato Jayam Mudirayet. On fait le mot par mot?
Yes.
Narayanam.
Narayanam.
The personality of Godhead.
The personality of Godhead.
Namakritya.
Namaskritya.
After offering respectful obeisances.
After offering respectful obeisances.
Narangcha Eva.
Narangcha
And Narayana Rishi. Nara Uttamam. The supermost human being.
The supermost human being.
Devim.
Devim.
The goddess Saraswatim.
The goddess Saraswati.
Oh. Saraswatim.
Saraswati.
The mistress of learning.
The mistress of learning.
Vyasam.
Vyasam.
Vyasadeva.
Vyasadeva.
Tata.
Tata.
Thereafter.
Thereafter.
Jayam.
Jayam.
All that is meant for conquering.
All that is meant for conquering.
Udhirayat.
Udhirayat.
He announced.
Yes.
Translation. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. All the Vedic literature and the Puranas are meant for conquering the darkest region of material existence. The living being is in the state of forgetfulness of his relation with God due to his being overly attracted to material senses and sense gratification from time immemorial. His struggle for existence in the material world is perpetual. It is not possible for him to get out of it by making plans. If he at all wants to conquer his perpetual struggle for existence, he must re-establish his eternal relation with God. And one who wants to adopt such remedial measures must take shelter of literatures such as the Vedas and the Puranas. Foolish people say that the Puranas have no connection with the Vedas. However, the Puranas are supplementary explanations of the Vedas intended for different types of men. All men are not equal. There are men who are conducted by the mode of goodness, others who are under the mode of passion, and others who are under the mode of ignorance. The Puranas are so divided that any class of men can take advantage of them and gradually regain their lost position and get out of the hard struggle for existence. Srila Sutta Goswami shows the way of chanting the Puranas. This may be followed by persons who aspire to be preachers of the Vedic literatures and the Puranas. Srimad Bhagavatam is a spotless Purana, and it is explained, and it is especially meant for them who desire to get out of the material entanglement permanently. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Bhagavati Vasudevaya Tanmariya Syovata Anayati Taratas Charate Sovigna Svaratini Brahmarita Dikalayamyati Yatsurya Tejori Mrinam Yatavinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrishandam Nasena Sadani Rasta Kuakam Satyam Param Devahi. Hare Krishna. Well, Prabhupada said very essential things in his purport. And by his causeless mercy, he took this task to deliver us, and we just can go through the purport now and try to ponder on the different. Shall I speak French or something?
Whatever. You can speak in the micro.
Merci. Par exemple, la première phrase, all the Vedic literature and the Puranas are meant for conquering the darkest region of material existence. Right? So we have to, conquering all of this is connected to fighting. So it's a big fight, a daily fight. So we have to have strength. We have to put some strength in. And the Maha Mantra gives us this strength to be able to understand these things. Otherwise, we cannot understand because our brain is not working in that sense. We are always thinking on eating, sleeping, mating, defending, all these things. And our mind has been, the Prabhupada says, is another part, another sentence. See, the living entity is in the state of forgetfulness of his relation with God due to his being overly attracted to material sense gratification from time immemorial. This we always have to recall in our memory to take strength and courage to go on in our way of the chanting of Hare Krishna, for purifying our heart, which means also purifying our mind, our thoughts, that we can be free from all the thoughts which are pulling us down and which are attach us to the material world, and in this way create suffering, continuous suffering. There's no hope, except we turn to God, to Krishna, and except we have the big chance to find a pure spiritual master who is able to deliver his disciples and his grand disciples in all the world, actually. And on va maintenant à la prochaine phrase. His struggle for existence in the material world is perpetual, and it is not possible for him to get out of it by making plans. Humans are making plans always. I remember a phrase of, I don't know if you know him, Bertolt Brecht. He was an author, a German poet, and he said, der Mensch macht sich ein Plan und macht sich noch ein Plan. Und gehen tun beide nicht. It means the human beings, he makes himself a plan, and he makes another plan, and they don't work both. That is one of his songs in the Drei-Groschen-Oper. So we make plans all the time. Our mind's always planning, particularly how can I get this, how can I get more sense of living. So the first thing of all, when we are born and when we grow up, is this how I get food, how to get food. That's the elementary thing, the primordial. We have to maintain this body, and instinctively we getting food. So animals do the same thing. Okay? We go to the next sentence, because if he at all wants to conquer his perpetual struggle for existence, he must re-establish his eternal relationship with God. This is a very general Aussage. Oui, c'est très général. God. It doesn't say Krishna, he says God. So God, what is God? Yeah. What is God? Can we talk about God? Is that possible, or is he beyond our range? Je m'excuse, Robert.
Il ne parle pas français.
Non, mais je continue en anglais parce que...
Ok, je vais traduire.
D'accord.
Je demande c'est quoi cette idée de Dieu.
So in Vedanta Sutra, I said that we cannot, with words, attain God and explain about God, but we can, to a certain extent, we can approach Krishna, God. It's not impossible at all. We have words, and these words are coming from Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and in this way we can approach Krishna. Not totally, that is, the total approach is just by his mercy finally, and by his great compassion for us, because he knows our situation, our struggle, which is perpetual. Prabhupada writes perpetual. So Prabhupada writes from his own realization, from his own comprehension, from his own understanding, and he came to us. He was already 70 years old, and he had a spiritual master in a disciplic succession, which delivered something to him, and he just repeating it. So he must have heard all these things from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Ki. And one who wants to adopt such remedial measures must take shelter of literature such as the Vedas and the Puranas. He must take shelter. It means he must in an attitude of surrender, of devotion. He must read this literature
Il faut lire cette littérature.
and try to absorb, to assimilate the knowledge.
Assimiler.
In the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it said, Chaturvida Bhajante Mam. There are 4 kinds of people coming to God or trying to approach God for different reasons, on different levels. One is poor, he wants money, he needs material resources. The first one at all is the one who is ill, sick. He wants to get back his good health. He has lost due to too much sense gratification, for example. And the other is the one who is inquisitive, who already supposes that there is something higher, and he's inquisitive. What is this? That what is higher above us and which is controlling us, and which is controlling our destiny and so on. And the fourth one is the one who knows God already to a certain extent, and he goes on to make his knowledge more perfect, his heart realization more perfect. And then Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that all 4 are good, all 4 can be accepted, but the topmost 2 already knows about my existence beyond material nature. I prefer him. And then comes this famous verse, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Sa Mahatma Sudolabha Vasudeva Saramiti. Again? Sa Mahatma Sudolabha Vasudeva Saramiti. Jai Radha Govinda Jai Shri Balaram Ki Jai Shri Gaunitai Ki Jai Hare Krishna Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Oops. So the remedial measures must take shelter who adopt. The remedial measure is the literature such as Vedas and Puranas. Foolish people say that the Puranas have no connection with the Vedas. People say, for instance, oh, this is all mythology, it's mythological, and the stories, and it's legendary and so on. No, the scriptures are the representation of Krishna, and is a remedy, and Krishna knows the best what is a remedy for us. The remedial measures. Remedial measures, I just read the saying, when medicine doesn't help anymore, the knife will help. I read that recently somewhere. So that is Western medicine. You cut off everything. We also cut off all our bad habits, of course, and we purify our heart. And so I always try to keep close to Prabhupada. All men are not equal, yeah?
Les hommes ne sont pas tous égaux.
Oui, mais simultanément, on est tous égaux d'un côté.
En même temps, on est tous égaux.
So we have the saying, variety, unity in variety. You heard that? You have heard that saying. Unity or that goal to attain unity in variety. Everybody is individual. So, this point Prabhupada has repeated again and again that we are individuals, entities. Everybody is individual and has an individual relation with Krishna, and he can experience that individual relation with Krishna just by having darshan and being very attentive to to every detail on the altar, on the
voir les
decoration of the murtis. And by this he approaches and he can see Krishna and he can see, oh, Krishna, he has this expression now in that moment. That is what you realize. That is the beginning of your personal relationship.
Le début de cette relation avec Krishna, c'est à travers l'expression que Krishna a quand on regarde un artiste.
Et cette expression, elle change constamment. Elle change constamment. Et ça, c'est l'art des artistes qui... the art of the artists which are making this deities. It's a very old tradition. A very old tradition from times immemorial to adore a visible, for us, visible figure. And it's in all cultures. It's not just the old culture of the Puranas and Vedas. It's in all culture. People need some idol or something. But Krishna is not idol. It is something living. It is, and this is all sustained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. All men are not equal. There are men who are conducted by the mode of goodness, others who are under the mode of passion, and others who are under the mode of ignorance. Here we learn that the material nature is again structured into these three modes of material nature, these three different energies. It's pureness, Shuddha Sattva, what's the second one? Rajagun, Tamagun, and Sattvagun. Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. And these material natures, they are constantly interacting and conflicting amongst each others. Every mode wants to dominate over the other, and so it's a constant, and we are entangled in this, and this happens within us also. Within us it happens. Therefore, by the chanting of the Hare Mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, you can control your mind. If you have to make effort, you can control your mind, and you can some comment. You can control your mind, and in this way, your thoughts. And
à travers ça, on contrôle nos pensées.
Oui, quand même, je vais parler quelques mots en français. Alors, j'ai trouvé un bon exemple ce matin pour le mantra Chitta, the Vrittis on the Chitta. Si vous êtes à la mer, il y a toujours des annoncements de la condition de la mer, de l'état de la mer. Mer calme, mer peu agitée, mer agitée, mer très agitée, voilà. Robert, qui vient de Bretagne, il connaît ça. Alors, c'est la même chose avec notre mental. On peut superposer ce concept. Notre mental est agité, des fois c'est tellement agité, c'est l'enfer. Et on se demande comment je vais sortir. Et là, tu prends Hare Krishna Mantra et Srimad Bhagavatam, tu lis. Moi, par exemple, ma propre réalisation, je lis un commentaire de Prabhupada, une teneur de portée et portée de Prabhupada, et ça devient de plus en plus clair. Moi, je parle d'être dans le monde matériel. Hein, je suis dans la société et je dois me défendre tous les jours. Ok. Voilà. Et c'est ça la struggle. Prabhupada calls this struggle for existence. And sometimes we ask ourselves, why do we struggle? What is the goal? You know? What is the sense of all that? Alors certains philosophes, ils ont réalisé que la vie est absurde. Par exemple, Albert Camus, ou Sartre, ou d'autres philosophes, Nietzsche, la vie, c'est absurde, ça n'a pas de sens. Voilà. This is very dangerous because tu finis dans le rien. L'être et le néant. Et c'est pas ce que nous cherchons. Nous cherchons des choses tangibles. Hare Krishna. Je vais prendre le prochain point de PowerPoint. There are men who are conducted by the mode of goodness. These are, for instance, God seekers who are trying to realize good qualities in their life. Like, par exemple, for instance, in the 13th chapter, Amanitvam Adam Vitvam Ahimsa Kshantir Arjamam Acharyo Pasanam Socham Steiryam Atma Vinigraha. To be very compassionate, very modest. Ma mère m'a toujours dit, j'étais jeune, elle disait toujours, sois modeste. J'ai pas oublié, elle disait toujours, sois modeste, sois sage. Moi, je savais même pas ce que c'est, alors. Parce que j'étais enfant, tu vois. Comme enfant, tu es naturellement modeste. Parfois, il donne cet exemple à un moment. A child, you cannot offend a child, you know, he doesn't care for... He has no values in that sense. So, amanit pamadam vitam, modest and ahimsa. Don't, ahimsa. Comment tu dirais ahimsa? How you say ahimsa? Gewaltlos. Non-violent. Thank you, Radha Singh. This was a preaching of Buddha also. Non-violent. These qualities is a devotee who is in the mode of goodness. He tries to cultivate these qualities. And this is the 3rd chapter, verse 8 to 13th chapter, verse 8 to 12. You can see all the qualities and you can meditate on it. And by meditating on it, you will more and more, it will be part of you. It will be a part of it. You learn it by heart, and it means learning by heart, you're learning with your heart. So heart and chitta and is often understood as the same thing. So in this way, you implant it in yourself, so it becomes a part of you. And you remember it all the time, continuously you remember it. That is a process which is kind of underlined by the Maha Mantra. By chanting Hare Krishna, you can chant Hare Krishna and also remember Bhagavad Gita, meditate on Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, like or just one purport, deep ponder on it. So the Puranas are so divided that any class of men can take advantage of them and gradually regain their lost position and get out of the hard struggle for existence. It's not only, although in old culture, it was, the Sutra also, he was well informed about his rights, about what he has to do or not to do. And Hare Krishna. There's one story in Mahabharata about Vishwamitra. There was a change of ages, and in that period there was a great drought, dryness. It wasn't raining for 2 years or 3 years, so Vishwamitra had to leave his ashram to get food, and so he wandered through the forest, and ultimately he arrived in a village in the forest, and he knocked at all the doors, but no, and this was a Chandala village, a village of dog eaters, and he knocked at all the doors from the huts, and nobody gave him anything, and he was completely exhausted, and he had to lay down, and he said, I'm going to sleep now, I don't know if I'm going to wake up again. So when he was laying down, he saw into one of the huts of these dog eaters, there was a slaughtered dog, and there was, it's a heavy story, and the slaughtered dog, and there was a hunch of the dog, and he decided, I'm gonna penetrate into that hut, and I'm gonna steal. I'm so finished, I will eat that, I will take that dog, I will steal that piece of meat from the dog, and because I have to maintain my life. So he tried to enter, but the Chandala, he was not asleep, he heard him coming, doing his noise at the door. So he said, the Chandala said, whoever you are, I will kill you. So Vishwamitra said, oh my dear, I wish you a long life, and I'm Vishwamitra, and I'm looking for food. I'm just asking you if you can give me this piece of dog food. And then there's a long discussion between the Chandala and Vishwamitra, who the Chandala said, I cannot give that to you, because then I become sinful, because I give to a Brahmana, I give something not authorized, and also you stealing from a lower than you. And then these are stories that are told by Bhishmadev to Yudhishthira, and to inform him about Kali Yuga and about what is the good and bad and so. And he, of course, I mentioned this only to demonstrate that the Sudra, he knew exactly how to defend himself. He knew the Shastra, and it's what Prabhupada says, there are different Shastras for different people. There are Shastras for people in Satagun, in Rajagun, and in Tamagun. And bon, nothing too much about this. So now he mentions, Srila Sutta Goswami shows that the way of chanting the Puranas. So this is one very famous verse, we recited actually before Srimad Bhagavatam, the lecture in the temple. As far as I remember, there's Nashta Prayeshu Abhardineshu Nashta Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki, and then we used to Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narotamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasa Tato Jayam Udiraya. By the way, j'ai oublié de Nashta Prayeshu. You see, I'm not used to give lectures, But other point, lectures. You have to lecture to yourself every day in your mind. You have to defend yourself. In your mind, you will get arguments, or you will get a feeling of wie sagt man, you believe your faith will decrease or something, and then there are coming some other arguments from other side, and then you have to get your Bhagavatam arguments to defend and to re-establish your full faith,
Il faut absolument lire les Écritures.
Ah, oui, vas-y. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita is also one verse. The one who is, wem Glauben fehlt, wem Wissen fehlt, der Zweifel hegt, wird untergehen. In dieser Welt, in jener Welt wird niemals, also if you have no faith and knowledge, it's fourth chapter. Hein? Quatrième chapitre. The one who is lacking in faith, lacking in knowledge, and is cultivating doubts, he will fall down. And if you got knowledge, and the knowledge is on another part is compared to a fire. Like fire is putting dry wood to ashes, so the knowledge is putting all these reactions of material life to ashes. So these reactions, they are, if you're in the purificatory road. These reactions are still not in a gross form, but in subtle forms they can appear. So will be burned to ashes to the knowledge of the Puranas in the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada. So this verse is also interesting, and the next verse also, and then there is also that the knowledge is even compared to be more powerful than the material fire. This analogy with the fire is given, but at the same time it's mentioned that knowledge is even more powerful than the material fire. Material fire can destroy anything, but then it's a loss. But the knowledge is so that you gain your original identity, which is Prabhupada mentioning here, which we have lost. So we had a great loss, and by the chance of there's one verse also, by the chance of destiny we have met who is the captain of a boat. Who knows that verse? Oh, okay, you learn it.
What chapter? I'll find it.
Huh?
What chapter is it in?
Yeah, it's in the first canto also.
Bhagavatam?
By
First canto?
yeah. Anyway, it's a very nice verse. You'll find it. That we consider the spiritual master, we consider as a captain of the boat with which we cross the ocean of material existence. And if someone wants to cross the ocean, he cannot try to swim over the ocean. He needs a good boat. And it's so wonderful to give you a class here. I don't do that very often. Hare Krishna. Also, I could recite you in Germany whole chapters of Bhagavad Gita, but nobody wants to hear them. I don't know why. Hare Krishna. Yeah, like as I was speaking last time about the fourth chapter, where Krishna established this knowledge, and he is anyway. Hare Krishna. So, what else we have? Here is a very important name, Sutta Goswami, who is mentioned. He is reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam to show the way of chanting the Puranas in the wood of Naimisharanya, in the assembly of all the great sages. He is telling the Bhagavatam. This may be followed by persons who aspire to be preachers of the Vedic literatures and the Puranas. So we all want to be preachers. Basically, by nature we are preachers. But often we preach nonsense also. Everybody wants to convince his neighbor about the proper form of life. How he has to live. He has to live like me, and he's a rascal, he's in ignorance, and he doesn't know himself how to live. And there's this very nice example of two blind men, the blind leading the blind. They will fall. And that is also an analogy to understand what is going on in our life. So here, Hare Krishna. Purana?
Here's a question.
Yeah.
You said before you said one is with lacking faith and knowledge, and who cultivates doubts, he will fall down. So my question is, in our Krishna consciousness movement, as devotees, how do we cultivate faith if sometimes we're not always very strong in faith and knowledge? So when that time comes, then what should we do? Practically,
What you can do? That's a good question. That is a question concerning all of us, and what you can do. You put that question to all of us, and everybody will have to find some answer ultimately. Yeah, what you can do? Of course, I can immediately answer. You just chant Hare Krishna and you concentrate on the sound vibration. It's a very sober thing to chant Hare Krishna. C'est très sobre. Sobriété, security. You know that slogan from the highways. So you chant the holy name and just concentrate on the sound vibration and see what happened. See what happened within your mind. It is, Krishna consciousness has a very scientific side also. It's a sound. And you concentrate on the sound, that means you hear. You hear the words and without giving any interpretation, We know that from the offenses to the holy name, you read it every day. No interpretation, and just the pure name, and then you attain again very quickly, because it's acting immediately almost, a pure state of mind, a certain satisfaction, which is important. You have to be satisfied, because the chanting of Hare Krishna, the reason why not everybody is chanting Hare Krishna is because it's not so easy. It's easy and very difficult at the same time. And so people don't do that nowadays, because chanting Hare Krishna is also tapasya. It's not only tapasya, but it is also tapasya. Tapasvibhyo dikho yogi jnanibhyo pi matodikaha. Karmi, there's a verse in Bhagavad Gita. The tapasvi above is not the highest. Above the tapasvi and above the one who cultivates knowledge and the one who performs karma yoga, above him is a yogi, Arjuna, Krishna says. And from all the yoginam api sarvesham mat gatinantaratmana shradavan vajate yoma same yukta. You always have to help yourself by taking shastra, and then you face, and you feel better, and that gives faith. If you feel good, what is the problem? Everything is okay with it. This Krishna satisfies you, and this is confirming your faith, and also helping you to regain your lost faith, apparently lost. It's very dangerous. We have to be attentive every moment, and therefore we have to be Jeev Jago, Gaura Chanda Bole, Kota Nidra Jayamaya, Pisa Chira Kole, that we don't land on the lap of the witch of Maya. Voilà. Toujours clair, c'est logique. Hare Krishna. Hey Robert, tu as une question?
Non, je voudrais rebondir sur ce que tu viens de dire. Moi, j'ai dit hier j'ai dit que je suis âgé, mais en même temps, je suis tout jeune, puisqu'il y a 1 an seulement que je pratique la conscience de Krishna. Moi, dans mon coin, je n'ai pas de dévot, je n'ai pas de temple. Et comme pour répondre un peu à cette question, moi, comment j'entretiens cette foi? J'entretiens cette foi par les tours. J'en récite à peu près entre 16 et 20 par jour. Et je l'entretiens. Je me vois un peu comme un semeur et un forgeron. C'est-à-dire je jette des graines et j'ai besoin d'actionner le feu. Alors la pratique des forgerons. Oui, le forgeron c'est avec celui qui entretient. Comment j'entretiens mon feu? Par les mantras, et avant de dormir, il faut que je lise un livre de Prabhupada. Oui. Et c'est ça qui anime. Oui. C'est pour ça que je me vois en même temps comme un sommeur et en même temps comme un forgeron. Oui. Et moi, c'est ce que j'ai pour l'instant, parce que j'ai pas de maître, j'ai pas de gourou, j'ai pas tout ça.
Mais ce que tu peux faire pratiquement aussi, j'espère que je n'ai pas trop demandé à toi, d'essayer de trouver quelqu'un auquel tu peux transmettre un peu l'idée, aussi de participer avec toi pour 10 minutes ou une demi-heure à chanter sur un chapelet. Tu vois? Et là, tu as un associé, à ce moment-là, tu n'es plus seul. Et c'est aussi l'essence. L'essence de tous l'essence que nous avons besoin, l'association avec les dévots, et de respecter les dévots, de les estimer, de considérer très haut, et de ne pas expecter rien pour toi-même. Mais ça, il faut le développer à travers le temps, la pratique. Ah, j'avais une idée, mais je l'ai perdue. J'avais assez... Oui. Pritibiti cheyato nagaradigram sarvatra prachar hoibe mornam. C'est ce que Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disait. Allez dans tous les villages, dans toutes les villes et prêchez les saints noms du Seigneur. Faites le Sankirtan Yaga. Et ça, c'est en principe, c'est aussi la seule, une très forte, je ne veux pas dire la seule, naturellement. Il y a des intellectuels qui sont très attirés par les anciennes écritures. Mais pour la masse des gens, le Sankirtan, de sortir et de chanter les noms au public, et une demi-heure, 1 heure, et repartir. Et ils ont un sanskara, ils ont l'impression qu'ils ne vont plus oublier facilement. Ils ont ça dans leur... Voilà. Hare Krishna. So, l'essence. Il faut toujours prendre l'essence quand tu fais un grand voyage. Et c'est un très grand voyage. Vous êtes tout jeune, là. Voilà, ça va durer. Hein. Quand on est jeune, la vie est infinie. On ne voit pas de fin. Et à partir de 50, 60, 70, 80, tu te demandes, comment je vais faire ça pour abandonner mon corps. Comment ça se passe? Good. Bien. Bon, j'aurais aussi bien donné une lecture en allemand qu'en français, qu'en anglais. Voilà. Mais nous sommes tous dans une tradition anglaise, en principe. Et voilà. Encore une question? Commentaire?
Oui, un commentaire. Tout à l'heure, Simon, tu as beaucoup parlé de la mer.
Oui.
Tu as parlé de l'océan.
Oui.
Et tu as parlé de bateaux.
Oui.
Il ne faut pas oublier que Prabhupada, il est parti de Bombay pour arriver à New York. Il a fait 2 infarctus. Normalement, avec 2 infarctus, on meurt. Alors, c'est que là, il avait vraiment une mission supérieure pour ne pas mourir sur ce bateau.
Moi, pareil.
Pardon?
Pareil, moi. Oui. Moi, j'ai une opération au cœur. J'étais mort. Ouais. C'est un miracle.
Ça lui arrivait au milieu de la mer sur un bateau. Sur la mer, sur l'océan, le bateau, c'est une coquille de noix, toi. C'est rien du tout. Rien. Alors donc, moi, j'habite au bord de la mer, et moi, je constate une chose, c'est que le matin ou le soir, j'ai la marée basse ou la marée haute. Oui. Et je vois que le mental, c'est comme ça. Chez nous, en Bretagne, le temps, il change 3 fois par jour, même quand il fait beau. On peut avoir les nuages le matin, du vent l'après-midi, et puis un coucher de soleil magnifique. Des fois, c'est l'inverse. On se lève, la mer est plate, elle est calme comme un miroir. D'un seul coup, sur coup de midi, il y a une bise qui s'annonce, et le soir, c'est la pluie, c'est le vent et tout. Et l'image que tu as donnée du mental avec la mer, moi, c'est comme ça que je le vis, pour habiter au bord de la mer. En plus, j'habite dans une petite mer, qui s'appelle le golfe du Morbihan, ça fait 177 mètres carrés, avec 50 îles, et c'est une mer. Alors donc, j'ai la campagne, et j'ai la mer en même temps, j'ai des oiseaux, j'ai un coin vraiment merveilleux. Voilà ce que je veux dire. Le mental, effectivement,
oui, je suis sûr. La mer, c'est la même chose. Oui. Je suis sûr, parce qu'on a associé hier, on avait de l'association, nous deux. Hein. toi et moi, hier on a parlé un peu. Je suis sûr que cette analogie m'est venue parce que j'étais avec toi. Dieu qui connaît la mer. Je me suis devenu mer calme, mer agitée, mer peu agitée, mer, comment dire, le maximum. Mer
Très agité.
très agitée. Voilà.
Mais alors,
Oui, mais ce sont des analogies qui nous aident. C'est un aide. Une analogie, c'est pas directement une preuve, mais c'est ça nous aide.
Une référence.
Une référence. Ouais. Voilà, une référence. C'est référence. Ça nous aide à garder, à rester sur le chemin, à pas trop nous perdre. Parce qu'on se perd soi-même hein, quand on est sur les genoux de Maya. Comment on dit lèpe est français.
Les cuisses.
Hein?
Les cuisses.
Non, pas les choses, c'est la mer. Pas la mer agitée, mais la mer physique.
La maman.
La maman, oui, maman. Maman. So, Hare Krishna, je vous remercie beaucoup pour votre patience, votre attention.
Merci beaucoup. Hare Krishna, merci.
Et pour...
Tu m'as été précieux.
Et moi, je vais voir ce que ça va donner pour moi-même quand je suis seul de nouveau. Parce que ça a un effet quand on peut prêcher tous les jours hein, des dévots, ça change. On change soi-même aussi. Hein. On essaie de changer les auditeurs, mais on se change. Ok. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare. Et là,
moi je le fais, et je le fais.
T'as fait des photos?
Oui.
Tu sais comment ça marche hein?
Moi non, ça je ne veux pas faire. Merci pour cette classe extraordinaire. Merci pour ta classe, c'était vraiment très bien.
Ouais, c'est le meilleur.
Est-ce que tu t'en vas tout de suite
Non, je m'en vais.
Un peu plus tard.
Après-demain.
Après-demain. Est-ce que tu aurais un temps dans la semaine, s'il te plaît, de me donner une petite interview parce que j'ai écrit un livre sur